discussion, we will be talking about, so for the learning area standard, this is true to the whole mathematics curriculum. So it states that the learner demonstrates understanding and appreciation of key concepts and principles of mathematics as applied using appropriate technology in problem solving, critical thinking, communicating, reasoning, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. So please take note that the emphasis on the use of appropriate technology, because we cannot use one um, technology, whether traditional or digital, in one particular lesson. So it will be different per kind of topic, or yeah, per topic. So we have to choose it properly, and we have also to make sure that it's appropriate to the level of the learners. Now we have the key stage standards. So this is for the whole primary level. So that would be from kindergarten up to grade 3. So at the end of grade 3, so upon teaching math from kindergarten, grades 1, grade 2, and grade 3, so by the end of grade 3, the learner should demonstrate understanding and appreciation of key concepts and skills involving numbers in number sense. And it's being specified here what are the specific topics under number and number sense. Then we have measurements, and it's being specified also the measurements. Next is geometry and patterns in algebra, statistics and probability. We have also um, emphasize again as applied using appropriate technology in critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, communicating, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. So this is already more um, specific than the learning area standard. Okay. Then we have the grade level standard. So this one, if the key area standard is more specific than the learning area standard, then the grade level standard is the most specific among the three. So in here, uh, for the kindergarten, we have the learner is expected to demonstrate understanding and appreciation of key concepts of skills involving number and number sense. So this time, it's whole numbers up to 20 only. So do not ask the learners to count up to 100 or beyond. So as a teacher, you should know where to stop. So up to 20. When you say whole number, you start with 0. So 0 start is still part of the whole number. Then basic concepts of addition and subtraction. You don't have multiplication and division. Take note. So only addition and subtraction. And with the basic lang. And then we have geometry. That's basic attributes of the objects. And patterns in algebra. You might be thinking, oh, Miss, there's algebra there. Why are they being taught? Algebra can be in different forms. So this one is the most basic. So it only talk about the basic concept of sequence and number pairs. So when you go higher, sequence is being taught in grade 10. But here, it's just the most basic concept, finding patterns and number pairs. Next is measurement, time, location, and standards measure of length, mass, and capacity. And statistics and probability only involves data collection and tables. Very simple. And again, emphasize here using appropriate technology in critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, communicating, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. So you cannot use the grade three materials in teaching kindergarten. So we have to choose the appropriate technology in using in teaching these topics. Next, the grade 1. Here, still the same concepts being taught, but they differ in the subtopics. So here we have the learner demonstrate understanding and appreciation of key concepts and skills involving numbers and number sense. But here, very specific, up to 100 already. And there's already ordinal numbers up to the 10th, and then money up to 100 pesos. So by this time they would already be familiarized with the bills and the coins, addition and subtraction of whole numbers. Fractions, very specific, only 1/2 and 1/4. So do not teach other kinds of fraction, only 1/2 and 1/4, because there can be many forms of having 1/2 and 1/4. Then geometry, specific 2 and 3-dimensional objects. So 2-dimensional, you only have the width and the length. So objects that are flat. 3-dimensional, there's already a shape, a 3D. That's what you call 3D. So like boxes, balls, something like that. Patterns in algebra. This time, you're still talking about the sequence, but here we made very specific, continuous and repeating patterns in number sentences. Then measurement time, non-standard measures of length, mass, and capacity. Capacity was not taught in kindergarten, was not mentioned. And there's also a level when you go to the competency. There's also a difference on what kind of non-standard measures for length, what kind of mass, which differs from kindergarten. And we have statistics and probability, which involves tables, pictographs, and outcomes. When you had it in kindergarten, you're only doing collecting. But this time there's already pictures, like seeing data in tables and pictographs. So it's more on the visual. So again, specified again, applied using appropriate technology and critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, communicating, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. This time we have grade 2. Let's see what's the difference between grade 2 and the previous two grade levels. So the learner demonstrates understanding and appreciation of the key concepts of skills involving numbers and number sense. But this time we have whole numbers up to 1,000, ordinal numbers up to 20. So the ordinal number in grade 1 is up to 10 only. Money up to 100, so the same thing, but there's already a difference as to the kind of problem solving involved here. The four fundamental operations of whole numbers. So this time we have already multiplication and division and unit fraction. So everything that adds up to 1, that's unit fraction. Geometry, which involves basic shapes, symmetry, and tessellations. So symmetry and tessellations was not mentioned in grade 1. Patterns in algebra, we have continuous and repeating patterns and number sentences. Exactly the same as grade 1, but the level of difficulty is already a bit higher. Measurement, time, length, mass, and capacity. Again, still similar to grade 1, but level of difficulty is higher. And statistics and probability, you have tables, pictographs, and outcomes. So it will differ in the learning competencies. And again, as applied using appropriate technology and critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, communicating, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. Next is the last grade level for mathematics teaching, math, and the primary level. So this is the last grade level which can be considered primary level. So we have the learner demonstrates understanding and appreciation of key concepts and skills involving numbers and number sense. This time it's already up to 10,000. We have ordinal numbers up to 100 and money up to 1,000. So they will already learn money, the 500, uh, applying the four fundamental operations, proper and improper fractions. So proper and improper fractions is only introduced in grade 3, similar and dissimilar fractions also, and also equivalent fractions. So you can see that it is already getting more complicated. So that's why we have the uh, spiral progression of the topics. And next we have geometry, involves already line symmetry and tessellations. Next is patterns and algebra. We have continuous repeating patterns and number sentences, exactly the same as grades 1 and 2, but level of difficulty is higher. Measurement, conversion of time. Conversion was not mentioned in the previous grade levels, so conversion will start in grade 3. Length, mass, and capacity in area of square and rectangle is already introduced, but we have to be very careful with the area of square and rectangle because it's not the abstract area of a rectangle is and square. And next we have statistics and probability tables. Bar graphs. Bar graphs was not mentioned in the previous levels and outcomes, is applied using appropriate technology and critical thinking, problem solving, reasoning, communicating, making connections, representations, and decisions in real life. So you can see already that the topics are becoming more more, not necessarily more difficult, but more complicated in a way. There are more topics already being added. So from the very simple topics from kindergarten, and then being added with more and more, a few lessons in every grade levels, and so it's very important that these topics and skills, concepts and skills are being mastered in the lower levels so that the students will only be recalling what was and revisiting what they have learned and apply them in the current grade level.